For 12 days, the investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie has played out across the sprawling, darkened landscape of Tucson. But in the last 24 hours, the focus has narrowed violently to a single, specific point: the front doorstep. A white tent was erected directly against the entryway, obscuring the view of the public. While initial speculation suggested it was a shield against incoming rain or to preserve blood droplets found on the path, the reality appears to be far more calculated. Investigators were not just hiding evidence, they were calibrating it. We are now nearly 2 weeks into the search. What began as a local inquiry has evolved into a complex, multi-agency operation involving the Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI. The stakes have shifted financially as well, with the reward for information leading to Nancy Guthrie now doubled to $100,000. Despite the intense public scrutiny, authorities have entered what experts describe as the valley of the investigation. The initial adrenaline of the first 48 hours has dissipated, replaced by the grind of digital forensics, analyzing what is termed digital dust, from GPS data to OnStar links. However, the physical scene at the Guthrie residence remains the primary anchor. The tent, which appeared and then vanished within hours, signals that investigators are revisiting the initial crime scene not just to search, but to test specific theories about the abduction itself. The purpose of the tent appears to be linked to a specific piece of equipment brought inside: a forensic height board. This tool allows investigators to stand in the exact position of the masked figure captured on the Nest Cam, using the board to scientifically determine the suspect's stature. Following this procedure, the FBI released a precise update to the suspect profile. Authorities are no longer looking for a vague figure. They are hunting for a male, approximately 5'9" to 5'10", with an average build. But the profile goes deeper than physical measurements. It extends to behavior and equipment. The suspect was carrying a 25-liter Ozark Trail Hiker Backpack. This is a critical detail. Tactical experts and former SWAT operators have noted a specific anomaly in how the bag was worn. The chest strap was buckled. Casual users rarely engage the sternum strap. Its primary function is stability for hiking or carrying heavy loads. The bag itself appeared full, described by observers as looking like it was stuffed with laundry. The use of the strap suggests a suspect who is either comfortable with hiking gear or was prepared to move quickly with a significant amount of weight. This is not a random grab. It suggests preparation. Yet, as the physical profile sharpens, the timeline has fractured. A new piece of video surveillance has surfaced from 5 miles away, showing a figure with a similar backpack attempting to open a gate. The problem is the clock. The Ring camera at Nancy Guthrie's home was disabled at 1:47 a.m. The second video was recorded at 1:52 a.m. 5 miles in 5 minutes is a physical impossibility, unless the time itself is wrong. A technical theory has emerged that could bridge this impossible gap. The footage from the Guthrie residence was retrieved from the cloud, not a hardwired system with an internal timestamp. Investigators are exploring the possibility that the actual time of the abduction was 2:12 a.m., not 1:47 a.m. If this adjustment is accurate, it creates an 18 to 19-minute window, just enough time for a vehicle to traverse the distance to the location of the second video. While the digital timeline is being reconstructed, physical evidence has appeared on the periphery. A pair of black gloves was discovered on Campbell Avenue, a major thoroughfare that feeds into the neighborhood, roughly a mile and a half from the scene. However, local law enforcement sources have expressed skepticism. Campbell Avenue is a high-traffic artery. These gloves were found 11 days after the disappearance, sitting in plain sight on a busy roadside. Black gloves are ubiquitous, used by everyone from mechanics to barbecue cooks. The question remains, would a suspect who meticulously covered their face and navigated a complex escape route simply discard such critical evidence on the side of a highway? The geography itself argues against clumsiness. The neighborhood is described as a winding tapestry of roads, heavily restricted by a dark sky ordinance that prohibits streetlights. It is pitch black at night. Navigating these twists and turns requires local knowledge or intense preparation. This complexity has reportedly led to friction regarding the chain of command. Sources indicate confusion on the ground as to whether the Pima County Sheriff or the FBI is ultimately directing the flow of information. While the sheriff remains the spokesperson, the FBI has taken control of specific elements, including inquiries regarding potential ransom notes. Allegations have surfaced regarding emails demanding Bitcoin, claiming knowledge of the kidnapper. While such communications are often opportunistic scams in high-profile cases, the FBI's involvement suggests nothing is being summarily dismissed. The investigation is operating on parallel tracks: the highly visible ground searches and the silent digital analysis of threats and timelines. Perhaps the most telling development is a quiet request from detectives to residents within a 2-mile radius. They are not just asking for footage from the night of the disappearance. They are specifically requesting video from January 11th between 9:00 p.m. and midnight, weeks before Nancy Guthrie vanished. This specific time window implies that investigators have identified a lead, a vehicle, a person, or an event that occurred well before the crime. It suggests the abduction may not have been an impulse, but the result of long-term surveillance. As the search enters its next phase, the question is no longer just where Nancy is, but how long she was being watched before she was taken.